Welcome to the Prophecy Club. I've got an exciting topic for you today. Our topic is 3 warning events to watch for before the rapture occurs. Or you could say it another way, how to know when the rapture is coming. I know, big change for me, but God showed me something, and I got to bring you the truth. Just because it puts a little egg on my face, I'm willing to do that. Matter of fact, I think that's the way all watchmen ought to be. We ought to bring the truth as best we can, aside from what we think or our reputation or what others think. We ought to be willing to bring the truth. Or another topic you could say is the rapture will not be a surprise. Let me say it again. The rapture will not be a surprise. You will know when it is good. That is, if you follow this ministry anyway. Or you could say we'll have exactly 50 days warning if we know what to watch for, and I'm going to show you. So you're going to be shown the 3 events to watch for, okay? 3 events to watch for. Okay, first thing I need to cover is I have not been covering some of these promos in the last several meetings or several programs because I've had so much to say. So I need to tell you, I want to invite you to this Prophecy, Healing, and Deliverance Conference. This is not the crusade. The purpose of this is not to get new people saved. The purpose of this is to get Christians delivered, trained, healed, and ready to go. And we're doing this at our church, and it's going to be awesome, awesome, awesome. What you do is go to prophecyclub.com. You click on that button to the right side there, and it will tell you all about it, who's going to be speaking, and also allow you to register. And we are very pleasantly surprised, even though there is a limit of 100 people coming, because we're doing it at the church, we're getting a lot of people signing up. So my advice is don't wait until the last minute because it'll probably be full pretty quick. Next thing I want to cover, and I should have been saying this every day, is EMP Shield has made a special offer just for Prophecy Club people. And you know, normally you use the Prophecy Club or the word prophecy as a discount promo. Get you $50 off each one of those items. Now, those items are, let me grab one here. One is you put a device like this on your car. I have a different kind of device, put it on your house so that in the event of some kind of an EMP attack, the plan is that it doesn't take out your car, okay? But here's what they're doing, and it's only for a limited time. They only did this for a few hours for most of the people, but they've extended it for a whole week for Prophecy Club people. I guess they like us. Anyway, upon checkout, here's what you do. You do it in the Prophecy Club, the word prophecy as your promo. But then on down there, there's another place they tell me where you put in the word spirit. Okay, got it. Prophecy, and then the next discount code is spirit. That gets you a discount on everything in your cart. But they're only making it available from June 23 through June 30th. So I think this Monday is your last time to do it. And I can't even guarantee it'll be open Monday. So my advice is get it done before June 30th. This will give you an extra 10% off. Now let me say it again. Normal word is prophecy, $50 off each item. But use the word spirit for the second box. That gets you 10% off everything in your cart. But it ends June 30th. Got it? Prophecy, discount, 10% more, spirit. All right, let's move on. So what are the 3 events before the bride rapture? And I'm going to tell you the 3 events. But if you want to understand them, you got to stay with me. And I'm going to keep it real simple. I think it's very exciting to be able to tell you this, because this is what everybody wants to know. When the rapture? When the rapture? Is it coming today? No, it's not coming today. So these are the 3 events to watch for, and I will explain each one. I'll give you a scripture for each one. Okay, 1. You will see Jesus return to the Mount of Zion, and you will see him resurrect 144,000 Jewish boys. 3rd point, you will see an angel flying through the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel in every ear on the planet. Here's that angel say. I'll tell you what he says. And then Russia destroys America in 1 hour. That's Dmitry Duduman's message. So you got it. There's 3 warnings. 1, Jesus returns to Mount Zion. I think the whole world will see that. But if you didn't see that, there's 144,000 Jewish boys resurrected. You will see that. I'll show you. I'm about to bring you some information you do not know. Trust me, you do not know this. Angel with an everlasting gospel, every ear on the planet hears him, possibly every eye too. And then the bombs fall. So you not only know when the rapture is coming, but you also know when Russia is going to attack. I'll show you. Okay, here's number 1 and 2, right out of the Bible. Okay. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood upon the Mount Zion. Mount Zion, as I'm going to show you, is about a 38-minute walk from the Mount of Olives. It's different. I'll show you. And with him 144,000, that's the barley, that's the Jewish boys, having his father's name written in the foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, as the voice of great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne, and before the 4 beasts and the elders. And no man can learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which are not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. Now I'm about to read for you the secret door word. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men. Here it is, being the first fruits unto God. That word first fruits links to Leviticus 23:10. That one word right there, first fruits, that tells us the correct chronological order for all the rest of the events in Revelation. But for you to understand it, you have to get this book. But I'll tell you more about that. Okay. In their mouth is found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. So that's event 1 and 2. That is showing you Jesus in a lamb body. I'll show you. Returns to Mount Zion. Everybody going to see it. 144,000 Jewish boys walking around Mount Zion. I'll show you. It's everybody on planet Earth is going to see that. Problem is, most people won't know what's happening, but we will. All right, now, point number 3. Oh, here, let me go on. So I did a little research. 144,000, and my guess is they're not little bitty babies. Yes, they are resurrected because they were in their first year, but they're probably not coming back in a baby body. They're probably coming back in a mature body. So can 144,000 get on top of Mount Zion? Not exactly, but that's the general area they're going to. So I looked it up. AT&T Stadium, that's where the Dallas Cowboys play. Now I'm talking about the seating area, not the parking lot, okay? Just the seating area and the football area. 73 acres, holds 80,000 people. Then Mount Zion is 37 acres. It's a small mountain. I've been on top of it. You can walk up in about 15, 20 minutes. No football field, but it's going to hold 144,000. So can it? Yes, it will. Now, it might not all be able to get on Mount Zion, but close enough, okay? Now let's go to point number 3 we watch for. And I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel. What's that? I'll show you. To preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, I believe that every ear on the planet will hear this, and probably most every set of eyes is going to see it. Why? Because this is the last warning. What the angel is saying is the bombs are about to come down, okay? The bombs from Russia are about to come down. We're about to go up. Here's what happens, okay? We go to the marriage supper of the Lamb. That's good news. It's not a pre-trib rapture. It's not a mid-trib rapture. It's a pre-wrath rapture, about 4 months before Armageddon. But hey, I'll take it. Anyway, saying with a loud voice, here's the warning. So try to imagine this. I mean, see, everybody going to hear this. I don't think he says it just once. I think he goes around the globe. And it may be that he goes around the globe many, many times for 2 or 3 or 4 days, maybe in a week. But here's what he says. Fear God and give glory unto him. For the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made heaven and the earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. Try to imagine hearing that. Not just once. Fear God and give glory unto him. For the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven, earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters. Okay, there's no surprise. We see that We know that the plane is leaving. If you want to get on it, if you want to go to the marriage supper of the Lamb, you don't even have to say the name Jesus. You just have to worship and give glory to him who made heaven, the earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters. Now, let's go on. Then, here's the scripture that tells you that this is when the bombs hit America. And they're followed, which is the second angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Now, I could go on after this and give you other reasons, but this is it. Okay, if I'm trying to keep it real simple, this is it. So, you got that? Bombs come down, we go up. This is what happens, okay? Now, this is the best picture I could find of it. I had to put the bombs in there. But bombs down, we go to the marriage supper of the Lamb. That fits with all of the scriptures, too. As a matter of fact, I don't know if it's going to be a book or an added chapter to another book, but I'm working on it every evening. All right, now let's go on. Let me explain this another way. Acts 1:11. This is when Jesus, in his lamb body, just had a fish with the disciples. Thomas just felt the nail scars and the sword scar in his side. And he goes up in a cloud. The angel standing beside them says, You men of Galilee, why stand you gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus means when he comes down again, he doesn't come in a glorified body. He left in a lamb body, just had fish with the disciples. My guess is he's probably wearing the same clothes because in heaven they didn't age, okay? You men of Galilee, why stand you gazing up into heaven? The same Jesus was taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as you've seen him go. So, he was walking around. So that means he'll be in this kind of a body. Then he takes us to the marriage supper of the Lamb. At the marriage supper of the Lamb, it's not about us. We only get to see him brought before the Ancient of Days. We're given dominion, glory, and a kingdom. For his dominion is an everlasting dominion. His kingdom is that which shall not be destroyed. And he's given all power in heaven and earth. He's given the morning star all power. 4 months later, for those 4 months, he comes forth and serves us. 4 months, it's going to be one big party. After 4 months, then he returns. Zechariah 14:2 says, And I will gather all nations against Jerusalem into battle. It's not that they want to, like Dimitri was told. God makes them. For then the Lord shall go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. His feet shall stand that day on the Mount of Olives. Well, over here, Jesus, the next time he returns, come down to the Mount of Zion. But the Mount of Olives is about a 38-minute walk away, which is before Jerusalem on the east. The Mount of Olives shall cleave in midst thereof between the east and the west. This is Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven opened, a white horse. His eyes were as a flame of fire. He had many crowns, and armies in heaven followed him on white horses. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. That's the morning star. And on his vesture and on his thigh had a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He is now like this. Got it? First time he left, he actually left from Mount Zion. Right, I got that down. Okay. Let me show you. So, Mount of Olives, Mount of Zion. Mount of Zion, Mount of Olives is about a 38-minute walk. I've been to both of them. And you walk up Mount Olives, 15, 20 minutes up the mountain. I mean, it's not even steep. I mean, huff and puff a little bit. It's not bad. So, when he left from Mount Zion. When he returns again, he returns to Mount Zion. When he returns again, he returns to Mount of Olives over here as King of Kings. But when he returns the next time, he returns to Mount Zion. Or I should say that to get it right here. Mount Zion. And that's where he resurrects 144,000. Let me explain it a different way. So on Mount Zion, what happened there? That's where Isaac was going to be sacrificed, but God sent a lamb. That's where Jesus, God's sacrifice, was sacrificed. And that the next time Jesus returns, he returns to Mount Zion. And then at Armageddon, he draws all the Russians and their Islamic buddies down to the winepress just outside the city wall. In other words, where Jesus had his blood shed is where he sheds the blood of those people that hate him. Then on Mount Olives over here, the first ascension, when he left, when it says, "You men of Galilee, why stand you gazing up?" He left from the Mount of Olives, and he will return back down to the Mount of Olives. That's for the last time. Got it? So he's returning 2 more times. Armageddon is also the ascension. Now, let me explain to you on my chart here. So, next time he returns is to Mount Zion. 4 months later, he goes to the Mount of Olives. But before then, he goes to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Then, Armageddon takes place on Feast of Trumpets, and it's about 6 months from the barley harvest, or the next time Jesus returns, all the way to the end when the New Jerusalem comes down. Now, I didn't talk about this much in the last several programs, so I do need to mention that if you have an IRA, I'm not done talking, by the way, stay with me. If you had an IRA, 401k, if you need some gold or precious metal or something like that, 800-200 gold. And if you have crypto, you want to put that into metal, blocktrustira.com is where you go. And if you want the prepper bars, which are made of either gold or silver, about the size of a credit card, 844-741-1776. Now, I talked about this briefly the other day, but it's important that you get this. So what happened, we were on Friday night Bible study. One of our congregation members wanted me to invite this pastor out of Nigeria to come in and speak. She was introducing him to me. So she mentioned he gives personal prophecies. So he came to the Bible study. I said, well, let me taste the Spirit. Give me a personal prophecy. This was part of it. He says, 2007 is going to be a turning point in your life, prophesying to me. For then I started moving in my own way. I'm going to reveal an open vision. The anointing just touched me. Wow. Just touched me. Thank you, Lord. Okay, it's confirming this. Confirming I'm supposed to be telling you this, too. I started moving in my own, right there. It touched me right there. I started moving in my own way, and I began to reveal an open vision to you concerning the message of the end time. There is a lock I put over a word. That word would be first fruits. In the book of Revelation that I'm going to open to you. The message will come out. It will not be popular, but you will have the witness of the Spirit and the people that have put this in your spirit in their being. It will turn so many books written on the end time message into obsolete books. That's true. Because I do not think anybody else has got the secret door. It's only found in this book, and the second vision told me, you need to put it into a book because some things cannot be understood just audio and video. Sometimes you got to read it. And in this book, what you do is you read, okay, and then you go back to the charts in the back. The charts explain it so you can understand it. And people love the book. Anyway, matter of fact, if you ask me, I think this is going to be a large part of what fills sports stadium. I mean, it's got Demetrius' testimony, it's got Leslie's prophecies in it. When those prophecies start coming to pass, this book, I'll have to print it by the millions. Anyway, it will turn so many books written on the end time into obsolete books. For a new light is going to be shown upon your heart as a chosen vessel of mine to put the puzzles together. That's this book. That's what it does. All right, now, this tells you more about the book. It's $20 a book, but don't get one. We offer them in shrink wrap sets of 5, or you can get 2 shrink wrap sets of 5 or 10 books for $60. 1 for $20, 5 for $35, or 10 for $60, prophecyclub.com. But this is the best deal. This is 40 books, 5 shrink wrap sets. Some are 5, some are 10. 40 books, valued at $800 for a gift of $100. That's what most people get. Most people go there and give that. It gives them extra ones to give away gifts. Who knows? Maybe somebody gets saved from you giving them a gift. Also, I recommend you get the Watchman's Package. I believe most of you watching are prophecy students. You know if you're a prophecy student. If you can't make it through this program, you're not a prophecy student. But if you watch this even on an occasional basis, you're a prophecy student. And that means you're called to teach others. This package is designed for you. So what you get is both of the charts, one of each one of the charts, but they're big ones, 2 foot by 3 foot, great big charts. And you also get 5 copies or a whole shrink wrap set of my book, and you also get 5 DVDs of me teaching through Revelation, and you get my handwritten book, this guy here, which I was reading and studying last night. This is chapter 14. This is where I wrote out the book of Revelation, all my notes when I memorized it, and it has all my notes, like it has little bitty notes. See the notes out in the corner and the side over here. So if you want to know, you want to be able to teach Revelation, this is your package. And it's valued at $355 for a gift of $200. Now, just talking frankly, friend to friend here is best deal. Best deal. It's good deal. Okay. Now, I've been talking about how I didn't know if I'd be able to get to this, so I put it towards the end, but I'm going to get to it. How do we know when the rapture is going to happen? Well, since the rapture, when the bombs come down, we go up to the marriage supper of the Lamb. That's the rapture. This also gives us additional things to watch for. We know that when there's a Palestinian state, that's the first thing to watch for, especially when that newspaper article comes out and says Omer. We don't know if it's O-M-E-R or O-L-M-E-R-T. We don't know what that Omer is. But when the newspaper article says Omer ushers in Palestinian state, God told me it's when people by the millions are going to turn to our ministry. Exact quote was, when those prophecies I gave your wife begin to come to pass, people from all directions will begin to turn and listen to your ministry. So when we see a Palestinian state, the fall of America starts. When we see a catastrophe hit America, when you look at these, then the bottom one, the fall of America will start with an internal revolution. Now, we don't know how long it is from the internal revolution until the angel flies through the midst of heaven, till Jesus stands upon the Mount Zion, resurrects 144,000. But those will be the last signs. But for prophecy students, for Prophecy Club, he's given us these in advance. So actually, if you take the 3 we started with on the program, and if you add Palestinian state, if you add catastrophe hits America, and then the next newspaper headline, one of America's greatest times of need, Israel refuses help to America. Israel has attacked America, sends troops. That's probably an elongated war. Chaos reigns as Americans protest help to Israel. And then it will start with an internal revolution. And the internal revolution probably, you still got 3 more coming after that. So we're talking about, what was the count there? 10 to 13 different signs. So we are not going to be surprised. Us prophecy, we are not going to be surprised. We're not going to be surprised when the Russians attack. We're not going to be surprised when Jesus comes down, sets his feet down upon the Mount of Zion, resurrects 144,000 one-year-old Jewish boys. We're certainly not going to be surprised when an angel flies through the midst of heaven, saying, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come. Worship him, made heaven and the earth and the seas and the fountains of water. I don't think it's going to be one time. I think the angel flies around the earth possibly for 2 or 3 days, maybe even a week, repeating that. And every ear on earth hears. As a matter of fact, the angel right after that, I didn't know I'd have this much time, so I'll say that one too. And there followed a third angel saying, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God that is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. My opinion, that's the day after the bombs hit America. The angel flies I think every ear on earth hears it. It's basically saying, don't take the mark of the beast. Don't do it. Why? Because America fallen is going to be the last hope to the world to try to fight against the Antichrist and the false prophet. With America gone, the devil can do whatever he wants to do. He's got 4 months where he can do anything because the Christians are gone. The Christians are gone to the rapture. The people that were not raptured are pretty much dead. So now there is nothing to hold back the devil from doing anything and everything he wants to do. That's the reason the angel flies this. Look, there's a lot of warning. The first warning is Jesus is coming. The hour of judgment has come. Worship him who made heaven, the earth, and seas, and the fountains of water. Then, lots of warning on the bombs coming down, okay? Fall of America will start with an internal revolution, okay? Then after we're taken to the marriage supper of the Lamb, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead and in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God that is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. He should be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, the presence of the Lamb, and the smoke of the torment ascendeth up day and night. They have no rest day and night forever and ever. Okay, I mean, you best not take the mark of the beast. So God has not left us without warning. We got the warning. If I can just get you to click like, share, and subscribe, if I can get you to send this out to your friends, they need to know. I mean, matter of fact, let me just complain about Facebook just a little bit. I guess it's probably 5 years ago we had 53,000 subscribers. Last time I checked, we were only up to like 55,000. I don't know how they limit us, but they limit us. Same thing with the other platforms. They don't want this message out. If this message is going to get out, you're going to be the one that gets it out. I do my best, but it's up to you. In 2021, I started making bread. And long story short is I believe God showed me that wheat is God's famine food, just like it was famine food back in the 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine, days of Pharaoh and Joseph. And I believe that that's what God has planned to feed his people. And you get it by going to josephskitchen.com. 3 steps. First, you want to get a machine package. Second, you want to order 6 ingredients and watch some videos, download the recipes to be able to make the bread. josephskitchen.com. Most of your long-time storage food, emergency food, all of that, typically are talking $9,000, $10,000 to feed one person for a year. Joseph Kitchen can show you how to do it for around $1,000 a person, and your kids will actually eat it, and it's actually good for you. Here's some bread that I made. In my case, I lost weight, lowered my blood pressure, gives me more energy. I eat a morning, slice in the morning, slice in the afternoon, always a slice before I go play racquetball. Go check it out, josephskitchen.com.